if you've had babies or you've been around babies, they don't really see all that well when they're first born. And it does take about 2 years to really develop their eyes. Thanks, Drake. But our eyes actually rapidly grow after birth right up to puberty. So 2021, our eyes are still growing in size. Their eyes are still growing in size. So that's amazing, right? Like our eyes are growing up until about puberty. So that's when they stop growing in size. But our eyes still increase in weight and they undergo age-related changes all the way until throughout our whole entire life. So the changes with our eyes are constantly happening as we age. So that's good to know that if you are 50 and 50 plus, that your eyes are constantly changing. Now, some of these changes are not, the best changes. And so what can we do to stop those changes or to slow them down? And that's kind of the purpose of the class today, because we want to all feel that we have healthy eyes that we can see right up until we die. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, can anybody guess what the most common age-related eye change, vision, age-related change in our eyes or vision? What is the most common? Does anybody have a guess on that? You probably, if you are, thinking about your eyes and how they've changed over the last little while, you probably could come up with more than one thing that you have as not a problem, but just sort of something that's happening with your eyes that you don't particularly love. The most common is presbyopia. Wow, that's a big word. What does presbyopia mean? Presbyopia is, for example, when you're around 40, that's when you start to notice that, you've got your material that you're reading. It's a bit shiny here in my office right now, but you've got your material that you're reading. You're reading something, a notebook or something like that, and you can't. It's a bit blurry. It's a bit blurry at this, so you start to move it a little bit further away from your eyes so that your eyes can focus on the words. And that's what presbyopia is. It's that close-up vision that starts to have a bit of an effect. We start to notice a change. And as early as 40 is when we notice that change. And my older brother, I think he started wearing his reading glasses, gosh, like quite early in his life. So we start to notice this. And why is that? It's because the lens in our eye, it kind of gets rusty. It has a hard time trying to change its shape to accommodate the close-up that you're reading. It just can't change the shape as fast as it used to. That's what we call presbyopia. So, when you're younger, no problem. You can read everything. Everything's clear and all that. But then as we get older, things, you start putting the paper further and further, the book further and further away until our arm is not long enough anymore to be able to read it. And that's a bit of a joke, right? It's like your arm's not long enough for you to be able to see that. So then what do? We end up getting reading glasses. These are my little crappy reading glasses. These are, I think, just from the grocery store. And I have hand-me-downs from my brother, my older brother. He gave me all his glasses because from the grocery store, pharmacy, whatever, you can get just simple, they're like basically magnifiers, right? At 1x, or I don't even know what the terms are, but they're strong, like least strong, and it gets stronger and stronger as your eyes change and you can't see that great. Now these are super, super light, and I just have them sitting at my desk. Honestly, I don't even wear them very often. When I'm reading bottles that might have like a colored background and I'm trying to read the ingredients and it's always teeny tiny, that's usually when I will use my reading glasses. But other than that, I don't really have to use reading glasses yet. But, and I'm 56, so my eyes are pretty good, but I am really, really into into eating good food to keep my eyes healthy. All right, so let's keep moving along. So let's look at some other things that change with our eyes. What other things change with our eyes? Well, tearing. Does anybody have this problem? Anybody have this problem? Tearing. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Regina. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you. Good to have you here.
Thanks.
So we were just going through the changes that happen with our eyes as we get older. So just because you just joined us, the first one we just looked at, and I'll just go back here, is presbyopia. Presbyopia, where you start to not be able to see close up. Close up, you
Yes.
start putting the papers further away, or you need to wear reading glasses. That's the most common is presbyopia. So we're going through the things that affect our eyes or how our eyes change as we age. The second one is tearing. Not a lot of people have this one specifically, but here's the thing. Sometimes it's one eye, not both eyes. It can be a side effect from medication. It can be sensitivity to light, wind, and temperature change. That's the key. What do we do to protect our eyes in these cases where we have more sensitivity to this tearing? Is we just wear your sunglasses. Don't just go out in the day like it's super sunny all of a sudden. It's freezing outside, but it's super sunny all of a sudden. I always make sure I have my sunglasses with me. If tearing persists, here's the thing. If you're noticing that there's a lot of tearing, what I want you to do is get to see your doctor and get to see your eye doctor, because there could be a little bit of an eye infection or a block in the tear duct. So if it's blocked there, it could be causing some problems. So definitely get it looked at, but it is pretty common. One of the learners in my class said, I never get tearing except when I go to bed, and then my one or both my eyes starts to tear up. And we determined after talking with her that it was the temperature change. Her house, especially in the winter, it's nice and warm everywhere else, but she keeps her bedroom cool for sleeping. So she would go from, the living room, finishing up in the kitchen, come into the bedroom, and it would be a lot colder. And that's when she would notice this sort of like bit of tearing in her eye. And we figured out it was the temperature change. So I want you guys to all think about that. If that is something, it's not like there's a problem with your eye, it's the temperature change. The next one is very common, and I've had many of you tell me this one. It's kind of a long name, but let's just call it dry eyes. Let's see if you say it. Keratoconjunctivitis. It's very hard to say. Sicca. So this is what is called dry eyes. It's very hard to say. I've tried it a couple times to say it like really professionally, and I can't. So I've let it go. So this is where we have dry eyes happens when our tear glands, the glands aren't making enough tears. And this is actually quite common for women when we're going through menopause. Like after menopause, we just notice like it just seems drier. It is very uncomfortable when you have dry eyes. You're constantly scratching, trying to like give more moisture in your eye. I start scratching my eyelid, especially if I'm on the computer too long. Dry eyes is not fun. Your doctor might suggest a couple things. They might give you like natural teardrops. Now, there's nothing wrong with just not medicated, but natural teardrops. We think that, oh no, we're going to get used to it and our body's going to get addicted to it and we're not going to create enough tears. That's a bunch of nonsense. Natural tears is not a bad idea. You're basically just giving some soothing comfort to your eyes. So if it's particularly dry out and your eyes are feeling dry, give yourself a little eye drop. Talk to your eye doctor about it. It's not medication. It's just giving yourself some lubrication in your eyes. Now, I'll bring it up right now after I give you the second thing the doctor says, because this is really